Hello, my friends. It's time for Thought Shifting Thursdays. Said that twice on Instagram and once on Facebook, so because they didn't come on the same time. Anyway, it's great to be here. So this is going to be interesting because we're talking about marketing and promotion today. And is there a way to do marketing and promotion in an enlightened way, in a holistic way, in a compassionate way? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I started several months ago a Facebook group called the Life Coaching Network for coaches and prospective clients of coaches. And it's probably about 98% coaches who have joined the group looking to find clients, and 2% clients looking for coaches. But there are a lot of new coaches, many new coaches in the network, and some of them are looking for coaches as well. But the challenge we're finding is just the inordinate amount of spamming that there is, of just out and out people. And one of the rules of the group, by the way, is no marketing to coaches, because the coaches have said we're just getting marketed all the time from copywriters, from people, how to grow your business to 7 figures in 1 month, and all these claims that are, I don't know, maybe it's possible in rare circumstances, but it's unrealistic in most. So people promising things that that are not realistic. And that's not a new thing, right? I mean, used car salesman, it's like this. Since there has been commerce, I imagine there has been people who are trying to exploit commerce. And just to go off on a rant a little bit, I feel like capitalism is actually going in the direction of failing. If you look at the amount of scammers out there, I'm not talking about just spamming right now, but people are outright just trying to cheat people out of their money. I mean, we all get these phone calls all the time, right? What are some of them? Gosh, I have a friend and client who came home, and her mother said, "Oh, I have to tell you something. I've been on the phone for hours. These people found that my identity has been stolen, and my social security number's been stolen, and I had to send them like $30,000 in order to fix this, so that I don't get charged with some kind of crime." And fortunately for them, the transfer that she made was after hours, and it hadn't gone through, and they were able to retract it. But I mean, and taking advantage of the elderly, which is prime target for a lot of these scams. And of course, there's the IRS one, right? The IRS is calling, and it's always going to be some horrible event that's going to happen if you don't call them right back, and then they scam you out of some money. It's pretty amazing. You know what I do often now when somebody calls me? I'm off subject about here right now, but I'll get to promotion and marketing in a moment. If you just allow me to rant, is when people call me with scams now, all often, and usually it's from a third world country, people with an Indian accent or some other accent, and I'll say, wouldn't you feel a lot better having a vocation that actually gave value to people's lives rather than trying to cheat them out of their money? And most people will hang up right away. Some people will dialogue with me, and one guy actually, he said, no, sir, you're making a lot of assumptions. And I said, well, that they seem to be accurate assumptions, aren't they? Tell me that they're not. He said, oh, no. And I continued dialogue, and I said, once again, repeated the question in a different way, and he said, yes, you're right, but not right now. And I took that to mean, this is the only way I can support my family right now, which is a sad thing, right? That it comes to that. So, I'm not going to try to solve the world's problems in this video today about, or capitalism at all, but something needs to change in the system for, and you look at insurance companies and all the, and how bad customer service is now. And all of this because people are trying to make as much money as they possibly can off of whatever product or service that they're selling. And you know, so let's get to marketing and promotion. And I'll say this, that in my business, and I'm sure many, many of the coaches in our network, the majority of them, in fact, the intention is to give more value than actually is being paid for. When I do my sessions in coaching, I, you know, my coaching agreement says 55-minute sessions, but it never stops at 55 minutes. It's usually an hour, and often it goes over as long as my client has time to go over. A few minutes. I just did one that went over a half an hour because someone that we were working on healing some trauma from a really challenging life experience, and you know, I could have left it an hour, and it would have been helpful, but taking that extra 30 minutes really grounded what needed to happen and gave her some tools to heal in a powerful way. So, hi Naomi and Anthony, glad to have you joining us. So, so how do we do promotion and marketing in a healthy, healing way? I'm just going to start with what I do, and what I do not everyone can do right away, because I've been building my business now for 20 years full time, and you know, been doing what I do for at least 35 years totally. So what I have found the most important thing about marketing, and I've talked about this before on these videos, it's been a while now, so it's time to re-emphasize it, is the most important thing is to simply show up in the world with a high level of joy and freedom and love. And you know, one of my teachers from back in the 80s, Stuart Wilde, said this. He said, you know, and it's even more true today than it was then, is that money, financial transactions, we don't hardly use cash at all anymore. It's just, you know, energy flowing through the ethers, right? And what he said is, if enough, if some of it isn't sticking to you as it's going through the air, you've got some kind of wall or block that's keeping it away from you. And another thing he said, which is maybe even more pertinent to this discussion, is the more personal power one has, and synonymous with that to me is simply showing up with freedom, joy, and love. The more personal power that one has, the more people are just attracted to you, want to be around you because they want to get some of that, because that's what everybody wants. The more personal power you have, the more people show up, and when they show up, bill them, is what he says. So that's a funny way to say it, but the point is that you know, I see all of these social media marketers who are, you know, because they don't want to break the rules of the group, they can be very sly about putting up a question like, you know, what's the biggest problem in your coaching business? And a whole bunch of people will say finding clients, and then they'll give them, you know, then they'll send them a DM, a direct message, PM, personal message, whatever you want to call it, or they might, you know, they might ask, they might be polite about it and say, is it okay if I send you a DM? But it's obvious that they're trying to market to our coaches, which is so they're getting around the rules, so to speak. And so let me back up and say, you know, one has to do their own personal work, obviously, to show up in the world with a high level of joy and freedom and love consistently, right? And you can fake it till you make it, but if you're faking it, people know it, right? I mean, you know, before I got really good at this, before I was living consistently at a high level of freedom and joy and love, I would pretend that I was, right? I would fake it till I made it. And I wasn't very successful back then because it wasn't real, right? I mean, I was successful in other ways, but I wasn't successful in my coaching business at that point in time. So, so that is the secret. Uh, and when you show up like that, whether it's online, in person, even easier in person, and I'll talk more about that in a moment, then people are attracted to you. People want to get what you have. So it's not about a sales pitch or a sales, uh, promotional tactic. It's about being real with people. And I will tell you, I'm learning so much from the coaches that are posting in this group. And I don't post very much because I don't need a lot of clients because, I do a lot of personal events, classes, workshops, public speaking. I haven't done much of that through COVID, but we have our sweat lodge ceremonies here and our other ceremonies. And so I meet a lot of people. And then I offer a complimentary session. People sign up, and probably, it used to be about 50%. Now it's probably 80% of the people that I do a complimentary session with sign up for more coaching. And it's that easy and that simple. And crows, lots of crows chasing hawks away. It's very interesting. While I was doing my coaching session, I saw a hawk go by. Never seen this before, with a crow and his talons. We see all the time the crows are chasing the hawks away from their nest, because hawks want to get their eggs or their babies and feed them to their babies. But this time the hawk caught the crow. And, you could say, from a judgmental point, you could say, oh, that's really sad for that crow, right? But I told my client the story that my daughter, when she was about 7 years old, I got her a corn snake. She loves animals of all kinds. And I was concerned about feeding the mouse to the snake and how she would react to that. And because she still is a very sensitive young woman now. She's now 26, living in Japan, doing amazing work there. There's the hawk and the crows. They're having a good old time fighting with each other right now. But anyway, to finish the story, we fed the mouse to the snake, and at the end of it, I said, "So how did you feel about that?" And she just looked at me and said, "Circle of life." So she got it. So from a non-judgmental point of view, everything is food for everything else, right? Our bodies become food for plants if we don't bury them in a metal box that keeps our ashes from nurturing other life. Our lives are food for the growth of our souls. So everything is food for everything else. So in a non-judgmental way of looking at that, the hawk was gathering food to feed its family, right? I guess in the same way that those scammers are trying to cheat people out of money to feed their family. Got to be another system that, or not another system, but some way to augment capitalism that makes it more holistic. Because people left on their own at this point in our evolution don't seem to want to voluntarily give more value than what they're receiving. I did a lot of videos recently on busting loose from the money game. That book, my favorite book. And the money is simply a symbol of appreciation. And the more I see it that way, the more money is not an issue in my life. The more just money flows in easily and effortlessly. I celebrate money going out, and this gives me a healthy relationship with marketing, which I never even have to do. I don't do these videos really. I mean, I rarely get any business from doing this, so I'm certainly not motivated by that. Maybe if I was doing it in different ways, like in the description of the video today, it says something about, oh no, that was something I posted in the group today. Sorry, but people advertise using funnels to bring clients in. What a funnel is, basically, in my understanding, is you have a free offering and in a landing page, and you offer the free offering, and then you get people's contact information, and then you can market your stuff to them, right? And this stuff obviously works because many people are doing it, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that system, but if if the system is designed to get more than you are giving, then it's just another degree of scamming people out of their money, right? So, and many of the coaches in our network, I think the majority, because I delete and block people, 1 to 2 hours a day I'm spending on this, which is more time than I'd like to, quite frankly. Just getting rid of people that are spamming and trying to get more than what they're giving. And I have very little tolerance for it. I'll be posting this in our network group, and if you're watching this and you're thinking about trying to get around the rules, I'm going to catch you, man, because I have such a low tolerance for it at this point. Because some of the posts just today that I saw, or a couple of days ago, somebody posted this and said, let me start this post by saying this is not an invitation to send me a DM about how you can get me clients. But the question was, someone new to coaching that wanted to, and obviously he's gotten a lot of these, who wanted to receive some advice, some guidance on what is a good holistic way to bring clients in, right? And it was really interesting how that little disclaimer at the beginning of his post kept the spammers away. There might have been 1, 2, and I love it when somebody posts something like this, because then it fleshes them out and I can block them from the group. And one of the things I'll do is to catch people is oftentimes people will again post something, or not even post. Oftentimes they won't even post anything. They'll just comment on other people's posts and ask if they can give them a DM or send them a DM, maybe without posting anything. Those people I can't catch. I'm giving you a cue of how to get around it. But I do ask all of our members to report anyone that's sending them unsolicited DMs with with offers that they don't want. And I've seen a lot of posts just lately. Like somebody posted, or was a comment to that post or another one that said, the coaching business has just gone to pot because there's just so many spammers out there, and so many people offering, ultimately giving less than what they are asking for in return. That's where capitalism breaks down. You can never go wrong by offering more. And what I started to say, and I want to finish, is my sense is most of the coaches in our network are there to not only to get clients, but to help out other coaches, to share best practices, to give guidance, to support. And I see so much of that, and that's quite frankly, that's the only way I'm continuing to manage this group, is because I see so much good coming out of it, and it's actually worth the time I'm putting in. And I may eventually get some coaching students from this group. I've got an idea of a class I'm going to do. You'll be seeing this soon on my pivoting process. I think I'm going to come up with a different name for it too. Just do an hour master class, because it's the most powerful and important work that I do with people. I see miracles happen for people in a very short time, 30 days or less sometimes, and I can train people how to do this process with other people or for themselves. So what else do I want to say about promotion and marketing? Someone was asking about books that are good for good resources for drawing clients into one's business. And I recommended, and I have to many of my clients before, my coaching clients and students, is Michael Port's book, Book Solid. And he's got a very enlightened perspective, and it's not about selling it at all. It's about offering more than what you ask for, or more than what you give. For example, he said, love these crows, love these hawks. He said, when you go to somebody who's a marketing coach, usually one of the first things that they often do is, what's your elevator speech, right? You meet people, you've got a speech, a canned speech they give people. He said, I don't believe in um, elevator speeches. I believe in having conversations with people, um, asking people questions, finding out where they are, finding out where I can be of service. So that's what we're talking about. So, if you want to try my method, it's simply getting to being around people. So much more effective, in my experience, than online marketing. Because if you are doing online marketing for any business, then you are competing with every other person that has a business online. And really, it just comes to who's the best copywriter then. It doesn't really necessarily mean who's offering the best service. Um, but when people meet you in person, and in person can mean by Zoom nowadays, you offer a class. But I'd say even more powerfully in person as we're getting, as we're moving through COVID, and COVID's less of an issue, or at least people don't care as much anymore, and people are getting around people more again. That's even more powerful, because when people can experience your energy, you can experience energy when you're in a room with person, or outside with person at a retreat. And so when you then offer your services to someone, and they already know you, they've experienced you, ideally in person, or even if in Zoom, through a workshop, through some kind of online activity, ceremony, whatever, meditation ceremony, then they already know you. They already sense, is this the kind of person that I can learn from? And then when you offer a complimentary session, or complimentary anything, or simply offer a service, they know instantly that this is someone I want to work with, someone who has a product or service that I can benefit from. And then you don't have to sell. I don't sell anything. When I do a complimentary session, at the end of it, I offer my pricing. I say, this is how I work. If you'd like to work with me, if they say, not really, which is a very rare thing, I do sometimes get people saying I want to think about it. And what I often do then is just offer that we'll do a follow-up 10-minute session just to check in and see how you're doing. Which, even if they decide not to, I want to do that in order for the person that I'm talking with to get the most value that they possibly can. Because if I just do a complimentary session and there's no follow-up, it might just, they might just get on with their life and just forget about what we focused on, or the action steps, or the understanding that they got from the session. But if they know they're going to check in with me in 2 or 3 weeks, then they're going to have at least some kind of attentiveness to what they've learned. And then I'll talk to them a second time, and again, 80% of those people will sign up for more. And part of that really high conversion rate, is what it's called in marketing, is because I don't do that many complimentary sessions. I really pick and choose the people that I'm going to do it with. So it's not just with anyone. But if anyone watching this video wants one, I will fit you into my schedule. And that's another reason I don't do a lot of online marketing, is because, you don't know who you're actually reaching to. When I meet someone in person, I don't offer complimentary sessions to every single person that comes to one of my events. I will see, oh, this person looks like a really good fit, and is someone that could really get value from what I'm offering. And that's what I want, right? I don't want to talk anyone into my services. The old method, some people are still using this method, is to, have an argument or a comeback for every reason somebody doesn't want to buy your product or service. And therefore talking people into what it is you have to offer. I don't want people to work with me unless it's obvious and intuitive that they'll get value from it. And so I never try to talk anyone into availing themselves of my services. So I think that's pretty much all the information I wanted to give out today. I probably veered off on a couple tangents, but hope that was entertaining for you, or brought some value to the video. And as always, just appreciate your viewing this, whether live, as Karina and Anthony and Naomi are. Naomi's my number one favorite fan, and that works both ways. I'm her fan too. See her every week here. And so put some comments in the comment section, like if you liked it, and most importantly, if you know anyone that can benefit from this video today, share it with them. And that's it for today. Have a great rest of your week and a phenomenal weekend. And we'll see you next Thursday at noon. All right, love to you, my friends.